Let's be honest, we're early in the season, we have a new squad, we're still trying to figure out how all the pieces mesh together. The importance here is 3 points. Chelsea play host to West Ham and do just that. Let's get into it.
And blue is the colour. ESPN! Lampard! That could be the championship.
Greetings! Welcome back to Couch Critic with me, Dennis P, for what is your Chelsea match review show, but more specifically, a tactical synopsis of Chelsea's performance against West Ham. But before I get into all that, could you please do me a favor? I'm begging you guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button to keep up with the latest and the newest. I would really appreciate it. It will attach to the algorithm and allow for more people to see the content. And my sponsor would appreciate it as well. They go by the name of Major League Socks. And fellas, if you ever want to walk in the footsteps of greatness, you know what to do. Just hit them up. The link will be in the description. Okay, so Chelsea played host to West Ham on Saturday and emerged 2-1 winners. Goal scorers: Ben Chilwell off the bench with a goal and an assist, and then Kai Havertz also off the bench after Chelsea went down 1-0 courtesy of Antonio. In this match review, we're not going to be focusing too heavily on the tactics, mainly because I don't think that there's a lot that I can explain to you guys that hasn't been said before. Chelsea don't move the ball very quickly, are very poor at creating opportunities in the final third, very labored, languid in attack, and yada yada yada. For what we're going to do in this match review is we're going to be focusing on why we feel that that is the case and what Chelsea need to do going forward in order to improve in those areas. And also we're just going to look at some of the individual performances and see if there's something there that we can build on. Okay, so not your typical lineup for Chelsea. Obviously, Fofana made his debut at center back. It was great to see him there. We had Reece James at right wing back, returned to his natural position. And in the midfield, we gave Jorginho a rest, gave Kovacic a start, along with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing the more deeper role, building attacks from deep, more of the Jorginho role, I'd say. And then in the midfield, further up the pitch, we had Conor Gallagher coming in for Mason Mount. Mason Mount given a rest. And then even further up the pitch, we had Christian Pulisic coming in for Kai Havertz. So obviously Thomas Tuchel is looking for some synergy on the pitch. He's looking for new combinations, new chemistry and whatnot. And he gave some people opportunities and roles that they haven't played previously at the club. The likes of Conor Gallagher obviously playing that number 8, number 10 role, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek being the more Jorginho in that deeper 6 role, building attacks from deep and whatnot. And it didn't really change that much for me. I think a lot of the players that came into these roles were very much ineffectual, didn't really offer much in the game. And again, I feel like that has a lot to just do with familiarity. I mean, ultimately what you want to see when people come in from the cold, coming in off the bench, is you want to see them really take the game by the scruff of the neck and challenge for the roles that have been afforded to them. And we just didn't see that at all today. We didn't really see a lot from Conor Gallagher in that number 8, number 10 role, and I feel like we have a lot of people coming into the side and we haven't really figured out or identified who likes the ball where, who makes runs when, who likes to be in possession of the football where and whatnot. So a lot of these things are just leading to a very disjointed side that lacks synergy, lacks of the communication on the pitch. And you can practice as much as you want, but until you get into game situations and you're facing a team like West Ham that basically put 11 men behind the ball and do not give you a lot of gaps of space to exploit, you're not going to know what you're going to get. Chelsea just could not find spaces in the half spaces to operate, and when we did get there, we took far too many touches to affect and shift the defense. And that's really what Thomas Tuchel's after right now. He's looking for people to engage in the half spaces, pull the defenses out of positions, and move the ball quickly. If you're not going to be physically strong up top, which Chelsea clearly weren't when you look at Pulisic and Raheem Sterling and of course Conor Gallagher playing in behind them, if you're not going to be physical and strong up top, then you have to be quick and nimble in those tight areas and manipulate the ball quickly in order to make the defense shift, and we're just not doing that enough at all. I mean, Chelsea got the ball in the great areas but took far too many touches when they got there to really impact the game. I mean, Thomas Tuchel was very demonstrative on the sidelines when he saw Conor Gallagher get the ball in space, could have shifted it out wide to Raheem Sterling, took too many touches, and then the opportunity's gone. You know, you basically just ended up recycling possession again. And this seems to be the hallmark of this team right now. We don't have anyone that picks their head up, looks further up the pitch, surveys what's in front of them, and reads the runs of our attackers. The one thing that I just don't want to see happen is Raheem Sterling stops making those runs that he's making consistently in the final third for lack of service. He's obviously been trained under Pep Guardiola to make those runs. He understands where they are, and he makes great runs a lot of the time, and they're just not recognized right now. So what I'm hoping is he doesn't get frustrated and stop making those runs, and that Chelsea start to recognize where those runs are coming from. And we play him in, because there are more than a few of them that, you know, could have got him in today, and like we just did not recognize them. The one thing I'm not going to have is Thomas Tuchel does not know how to coach these attackers or anything like that. Like I've seen him work in different scenarios and has teams singing, playing beautiful football. And you know, there's times that we saw Chelsea play beautiful football last year and the season before that, same. It just comes down to synergy for me, where we have to get to the point where everyone has the same sort of understanding of what we're trying to do on the pitch, and we just haven't done that yet. We haven't established that in the side yet. You know, we have people coming back from injuries, we have people coming back, you know, from loans, we have people that are coming into the club for the first time, and all of that has been destabilized from the fact that, you know, we're playing every 3 days now. You know, that we don't have a lot of time on the training pitch to get this sort of like synergy that we're talking about. And I'm not even sure that that comes in the training pitch. I think that that comes on the actual playing pitch. And, you know, you can't get it overnight. It's going to take some time before we see Chelsea starting to really demonstrate that they understand what Thomas Tuchel wants. We are currently relying on individual performances to get us through matches. You know, obviously Thiago Silva has been a rock, an absolute general. I was glad to see him wearing the captain's armband today too. Like he's deserving of that. He is a true captain. You know, we're relying on his performances for however long. We've been relying on Reece James when he's playing. You know, Raheem Sterling to get us through matches, but we haven't really been relying on the squad. Until we can get this squad reading from the same hymn book, we're gonna have problems creating real gilt-edged opportunities to score goals. It's gonna take some time. So I'm imploring with you guys, I'm imploring Chelsea supporters to give this squad some time to gel. With that said, some of the performances we're getting on an individual basis are just not good enough as well. I mean, we're still seeing individual errors leading to mistakes. We're still seeing individual errors leading to goals. And that has to be cut out of our game. If Chelsea want to return to the elite table of European football, the individual mistakes just have to be eliminated from our game. And I don't know, it's not one particular person. It seems to be happening time and time again all over the pitch with everyone. So, you know, that is it. You know, like we have to get to the point where we're more comfortable on the pitch to, you know, take risks and take opportunities and know that they're going to be compensated for. Not dwell on the ball as long as we seem to be doing in the attacking scenarios. Not dwell on the ball too long and take too many touches when teams are closing us down in the press. You know, all of these things seem to be happening at an alarming rate, where Chelsea used to be press resistant. We're just not anymore. We just are not a press-resistant team. There's a lot of trepidation. There's a lot of timidness on the ball when we're trying to build attacks from the back. And that sort of like safe playing does not lead to fast playing. Like when we're too safe on the ball, we're trying to make everything so picture perfect. It makes for a lot of mistakes in possession. And, you know, teams closing on us real quickly, and the decision making not being razor sharp. You know, all of these things are what I think is happening right now when Chelsea's trying to transition from defense to offense. And until we can like start moving the ball quickly and making sure that teams cannot get touch tight to us, we're gonna have all sorts of problems. We are getting some performances though, and this is exactly what you want to see when you have a bench. You know, like Chilwell coming off of the bench with a goal and an assist. Like, this is what you want. Like, obviously coming back from a serious injury, you know, Chelsea spent £62.5 million to bring in Cucurella. You're wondering what's going to happen with Ben Chilwell. And I think today he answered it. He's up for the challenge, you know, and this is what you want in a squad. You want players to challenge for their role. You want to have a competitive squad. You really need for Thomas Tuchel to have a headache every game as to who he wants to select. And granted, when you look at the player types, they're completely different. You know, obviously Cucurella is more of a touchline hugger, the guy that likes to whip in the crosses, you know, better defensively, gets up and down the pitch, you know, reads plays very well. And Ben Chilwell is a guy that loves to operate in the final third. And what we were lacking in that final third and what Ben Chilwell offered us was box presence once again. Again, his goal was well taken, but it was really the run that made that for me. The fact that he was actually threatening their final third. You know, we just don't see that a lot from Cucurella. And to be honest with you, I don't even think his finishing is anywhere near as good as Ben Chilwell. But he got a great substitution by Thomas Tuchel to bring on Ben Chilwell for Cucurella, and then of course bringing on Kai Havertz, who was the match winner. You know, just this is what you want: options off the bench that can come in and influence it. And in the case of Ben Chilwell, he gave us something that we just did not have in that final third. With Cucurella, and of course Kai Havertz scoring his first goal in 14 is much needed. We need more of that. Like, you can silence the crowd all you want, but to be honest with you, we need more of that. And you're going to hear it from Chelsea supporters regardless of whether or not, you know, you are the golden boy who delivered the Champions League for us. You're going to hear it when we don't see top level performances from you. You got to score. You know, you're put in the squad to score, create opportunities, and we're just not seeing enough of that. So, you know, shushing the crowd to me was a bit of a, I don't care. What do you want us to say? Until you can do this more consistently, you're going to get that a lot. You're going to be hearing the jeers. You're going to be hearing, you know, reading things online that you may not like to see. The only way you're going to shut up the supporters and get them to really get behind you again and again and again is by continuing to do what you just did. Score big goals. Be a match winner for us. It's not because we don't think you're quality. It's because we do, and we expect high performances from you, match in, match out. But I do think I'm going to wrap it up there. I know, believe it or not, I know it's unreal to have a couch critic that goes under 20 minutes, but I'm trying to get to some of the other talking points at the club right now just real quick. And one of the major ones right now, and I've been banging on about this forever. Obviously, Scott McLaughlin was released, dismissed from the club as our international scouting director, and I am elated, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been saying for quite some time that when this new ownership group takes over, the first job that they have to do is clean house. Get rid of the people that have been in those roles for a long enough time and not producing, signing players to contracts that, you know, they haven't really earned. You know, like Malong Sarr making 120K a week, you know, stuff like that. Like, all of this stuff was the old regime. We have to bring in the new regime and get this new understanding of how we want to build our football club. And, you know, I'm so happy to see him go. I'm not gonna lie. Everything that happened at the international scouting level for me was just abysmal. We just kept on identifying the big names, the marquee signings, and not identifying players that actually fit the mold of the football that we're trying to play at the club. We're trying to suit corporate branding rather than suit the on-field playing style of the team, and I'm just glad that's over. It seems like Todd Bowley and, you know, the Clear Lake group have identified where the problem areas are in the squad, in the club, and are just starting to like clean house, and it's a great thing. Of course, we need a DOF to come in. We need him to bring in his international scout as well. Lots of talk about who that might be. I'm not going to get into that here. Whoever it is, I'm just hoping they have an idea, an eye to pick talent that is not the established marquee superstar, but the next one, the level underneath that. We need players to come to Chelsea that are going to make their name at Chelsea, not become as a name to Chelsea, if you know what I mean. I'm probably not articulating myself correctly there, but we need them to come to Chelsea to make their name rather than the other way around. So let's hope that that's the change. What's next for Chelsea? We got the Champions League on Tuesday. I'm excited, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of the players that were rested in this game will return to the lineup for Tuesday in Dinamo Moscow. Obviously, there's a short change over there. You go from, you know, a game Saturday at lunch, a game Saturday afternoon, and then you go to early kickoff on Tuesday. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel was thinking about that when he made his substitutions, with his eye on the Champions League. So with that said, I want this game. Obviously, Mendy probably won't be able to play just due to the fact that, you know, he's out of form and a little bit injured. Whether or not that's being masked, neither here nor there. He is injured. He probably won't play, so we will see Kepa, and I'm hoping he has a great performance. We need 3 points. We have to get off to a rocking start in the Champions League. This is a competition that we love as Chelsea supporters, and, you know, I'm sure Thomas Tuchel wants to pick up from where he left off last year. Great performance against Real Madrid. Now we just got to kick on again this next year, and hopefully we can take it to the next level. But until then, fellas, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high, and up the Chels. Peace.